making any purchases either in stores or online, to shun fast food, getting gas for a full.
In a striking episode of Real Time with Bill Maher, a rare moment of candor unfolded as CNN's Fareed Zakaria, a prominent voice in liberal media, admitted that some of Donald Trump's policies might actually benefit America. The revelation came during a discussion about Trump's proposal to sell permanent residency visas, dubbed the Gold Card, for a hefty $5 million. Zakaria, typically a staunch critic of Trump, not only endorsed the idea, but suggested raising the price to $20 million, arguing that American citizenship is worth more. This unexpected concession, paired with sharp critiques from former Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel about the Democratic Party's missteps, exposed deep fissures in the left's narrative. The exchange was less a debate and more a public reckoning, with Maher skillfully coaxing his guests into confronting uncomfortable truths about their party's priorities and failures. The conversation began with Maher introducing Trump's visa proposal, noting that the U.S. already has a similar program, the EB-5 visa, which grants residency to foreign investors. Far from dismissing the idea, Zakaria acknowledged its merit, albeit with a twist. He proposed a higher price tag, framing it as a patriotic stance. His quip about the value of American citizenship landed with a mix of humor and irony, given his network's history of relentless Trump criticism. Maher, ever the provocateur, leaned into the moment, joking about the gold card coming with perks like voting twice. The lighthearted jab underscored a deeper point. Even critics like Zakaria couldn't entirely dismiss Trump's knack for bold, pragmatic ideas. What made the exchange remarkable wasn't just Zakaria's admission, but the broader context. For years, CNN has positioned itself as a bastion of anti-Trump sentiment, with panels often skewed to amplify Democratic talking points. Zakaria's willingness to break ranks even momentarily felt like a crack in the facade. His suggestion to charge $20 million for residency wasn't just a policy tweak, it was a nod to market-driven solutions, a stark departure from the equity-focused rhetoric he typically champions. The irony was palpable, a liberal commentator endorsing a policy that prioritizes wealth over inclusivity, all while chuckling at the absurdity of it. Rahm Emanuel, another guest, amplified the critique, turning the lens on the Democratic Party's broader failures. He didn't mince words, lambasting the left for its obsession with culture wars and neglect of core issues like education and public safety. Emanuel pointed to a damning statistic. 8th grade reading scores are at their lowest in 30 years, yet no major Democratic leader, not a governor, mayor, president, or education secretary, is addressing it. Instead, he argued, the party is consumed by debates over pronouns and bathroom access, issues that, while symbolically charged, pale in comparison to the crisis in classrooms. His frustration was visceral as he recounted how, as a 7th grader, he might have exploited such policies for mischief, a candid admission that drew laughter but underscored a serious point. The left's focus on fringe issues is alienating voters. Emanuel's critique extended beyond education to the mismanagement of Democratic-run cities. He highlighted sky-high taxes, suffocating regulations, and the astronomical cost of housing in places like New York and Chicago. Comparing New York to Florida, he noted that despite similar populations, New York's state budget is double Florida's, yet residents see little return for their tax dollars. "You get nothing for it," he said, echoing a sentiment shared by many urban dwellers fed up with inefficiency. Emanuel's takedown wasn't just a policy critique, it was a cultural one, accusing Democrats of prioritizing performative activism over tangible results. His reference to locked-up shelves at Walgreens and CVS, a consequence of permissive crime policies, painted a vivid picture of urban decline. Maher's role in this exchange was pivotal. With his trademark blend of wit and skepticism, he created a space where his guests felt safe enough to deviate from party orthodoxy. He didn't just ask questions, he set traps, teeing up Trump's visa policy as actually smart, and watching as Zakaria and Emanuel followed his lead. The result was a rare instance of political dominoes falling, with two prominent Democrats admitting, however reluctantly, that their party has lost its way. Maher's ability to draw out these confessions was a testament to his skill as a host, turning what could have been a rote panel discussion into a masterclass in political theater. The conversation took a particularly poignant turn when Emanuel addressed the low approval rating of Chicago's current mayor, a dismal 6.6%. Rather than deflect, he used the statistic to indict the left's broader failures, arguing that Democrats have become too permissive of a culture that prioritizes ideology over governance. He urged his party to refocus on the basics: safe streets, strong schools, and stable finances, warning that the obsession with non-essential issues is making the party toxic. His plea to shift attention from locker rooms and bathrooms to classrooms was a mic drop moment, resonating with viewers who've grown weary of endless culture war battles. What made this exchange both compelling and disheartening was its reflection of a broader societal shift. The left's fixation on inclusivity, while well-intentioned, has often veered into absurdity with policies that defy common sense. Emmanuel's critique of bathroom debates, for instance, wasn't just about logistics. It was about the erosion of shared values like privacy and safety, sacrificed to appease a vocal minority. The fact that it took a Democrat on a platform like HBO to voice what millions have been thinking speaks to the depth of the party's disconnect. Zacaria's moment of clarity, meanwhile, raised questions about his motives. Was this a genuine epiphany, or had he quietly harbored these views all along, only to voice them now that the political winds are shifting? CNN's track record, skewed panels, selective reporting, and a near-constant anti-Trump drumbeat suggests his silence was strategic. Whether driven by professional loyalty or political pressure, his sudden candor felt convenient, if not opportunistic. The truth, as Maher's platform revealed, has a way of catching up, even with those who've spent years sidestepping it. The broader implications of this exchange are profound. The Democratic Party, as Emmanuel and Zacharia inadvertently admitted, is at a crossroads. Years of prioritizing ideology over results have left cities crumbling, schools failing, and voters disillusioned. The party's inability to address kitchen table issues, inflation, crime, housing, has fueled a backlash, with working-class Americans feeling ignored. Emmanuel's call for a return to common sense, echoed by Zacharia's grudging respect for Trump's pragmatism, signals a potential shift. But whether Democrats can heed this wake-up call remains uncertain. Maher's show, in this moment, became more than entertainment. It was a mirror held up to the left, forcing it to confront its reflection. The cracks in the party's narrative are widening as even its own luminaries begin to question the blueprint. For Democrats, redemption lies not in doubling down on ideology, but in embracing truth and pragmatism. The alternative is continued irrelevance as voters gravitate toward leaders who prioritize results over rhetoric. This episode of Real Time was a microcosm of a larger cultural reckoning, the left's internal implosion, as voices like Zacharia and Emmanuel turn on each other, is both poetic justice and a warning. After years of lecturing Americans on how to live, the party is now grappling with its own failures, from runaway taxes to failing schools. The spectacle is as entertaining as it is sobering, a reminder that no ideology is immune to reality's weight. For those watching, the message was clear. Common sense isn't partisan, but it's been missing in action for too long. If Democrats hope to reclaim relevance, they must ditch the distractions and refocus on what matters: education, safety, economic stability. The path forward requires humility, a willingness to question sacred cows, and a commitment to results over rules. As Maher's guests inadvertently revealed, the truth is no longer optional. It's the only way forward.